Former governor of Edo State, Comrade Adams Oshiomole, don't talk say to give Keke Nape, bike, grinding machine to youth and women no be empowerment or constituency project at all. Oshiomole, wey be the All Progressives Congress senatorial candidate for Edo North Senatorial District, yarn this one when he dey do talk with Tori people to yarn wetin he go do for Edo North people if dem elect am as senator. For the matter when concern budget, Comrade Oshiomole talks on the duty of National Assembly to do check say enough money dey for the budget to keep contractors for site to finish their work before dem start new one. Oshiomole wey chook mouth for the Benin Auchi road talk say the bad road don affect the economy of the area. Oshiomole come say chook mouth for constituency project matter.
What I thought the National Assembly should do is that when the executive send its proposals, particularly in respect of infrastructure, like the Bini, Lokoja, Okene, Auchi, Bini dualization, I think the appropriation system should be such that there is enough provision in every budget, enough to sustain the contractors at site for the whole budget cycle. But what you find correctly is that the Minister of Works, or let me say the government, approves or proposes a certain amount that will keep the contractors on site. And somebody in the appropriation committee, or due to various pressures, will redistribute that money, take it out of the Bini, Abuja, Bini dualization way, and put it in new projects. So you find new contract being awarded when the old ones have not been finished. Now, if you don't understand the meaning of that, go and talk to the average Bini man, the average Auchi man, the average Okene man, and ask them what is their challenge today when they want to go to Benin or Benin want to go to Abuja. The road is extremely bad, and that destroys the economy of the people of this area. A bag of cement that could have cost X, because the roads are bad, it costs more. Now check it out. A bag of rice in this poor neighborhood costs more here than in Abuja. Why? Because of the cost of transportation, which is compounded by the bad roads. So, because people are rational economic animals, the owners of these trucks have to factor in the rate of accidents, the delays, and sometimes the destruction. So my point is that award one contract, finish it before you award another one. And the National Assembly has the power. But it is not helpful if the executive identify 2, 3 rules, 4 rules, 8 rules you want to do in a year and appropriate money for those rules. In my opinion, it is unhelpful to the country if the National Assembly now take more than half of that and put tokens in new projects and leave the major projects uncompleted. And I give an example of the fact that I feel pain, and I'm just being frank. At this age, I just need to listen to my conscience. I am unable to accept that the construction of the dualization project of Abuja, Lokoja, Obajana, Okene, Okwela, Auchi, Benin, has passed through 3 or 4 presidents. It has taken more than 15 years. That is irresponsible, in my opinion. What it means is that you can't say at the end of the day, this is the cost of the project. Because Naira has been devalued during this period, ministers have come and gone, different engineers have worked on the road. I mean, nobody runs business like that. Get one thing, finish it. You spread money too thinly in everything, you end up accomplishing nothing anywhere. It's basic management principle. And Benin people can't come to Auchi. Auchi people can't come to Benin during the rainy season. Go to Ekpoma. The internal roads in Ekpoma have been destroyed by big trucks because Those internal roads were not constructed as truck A roads. But since the main road is bad, that is how people have to find their way. I have to travel from Benin to Auchi when I have to, going through Ondo State. I have to go through Ifo to return back to Edo. Why should we have a budgetary system that doesn't allow the federal government to finish its own road before awarding fresh ones? I mean, it's about management style. I think that the purpose of democracy is that the senators go and convey on the floor of the Senate the yearnings, the feelings, the expectations, the problems, the challenges that their people are facing. I don't want to go to Senate for business as usual because something can be done better. I will restructure the whole idea of constituency project. In politics, we have to be honest with the people. Look at some contradictions. Lagos State Governor, rightly, banned the use of Okada in some places. But those Okadas, a lot of them were procured by politicians and give to young people, and they're not so young as constituency project. In Edo here, I have seen my senator giving 2-3 motorbikes to 2,000 youths, and they call it constituency project. You buy 50 grinding machine, you give to 5,000 women, quote, widows, as constituency projects, and empowerment. That is the one that I found very offensive. How are you empowering a young man who is in his 20s with a motorbike? You are destroying him. You give him a false sense of, I have arrived. He earns much more money every day. By the time he's 30, 35, he has not acquired skill. He's not taking advantage to properly get himself educated. And therefore, he doesn't have the skill necessary to sustain a life living. He just gets stranded at middle age. Too old to learn new tricks, but not skilled enough to get anything doing. I think government must refocus the long-term strategy to empower the people. 2-3 key things. First, proper education and give people proper skills. Not skill acquisition center that don't have any equipment. I mean, that's a joke. We are celebrating and institutionalizing poverty rather than tackling it. Number two, no economy has grown without sound infrastructure, whether it is road or rail. And that is why I talk about why we must restructure the capital project to ensure that projects are earmarked, they are completed before new ones are put in place. If the roads are good, everybody will save on cost of doing business, cost of traveling, and so on and so forth. So I don't think it's just a sophisticated thing. There must be a way in which, over a period of 4 years, you have a holistic view of where are the major roles that we need to do now. Limit yourself to those ones and get them completed. Give you more resources, you do more. But token, become a budget of tokenism and translate to no completed project. All over the country now, you have abandoned, uncompleted projects all over the place because of the budgetary system. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. You have completed it, you need 10 million to paint it. Rather than use the 10 million to paint it, you start building another house. You appropriate 10 million to start another building, but this one is not completed. Your 90 million is idle because you need 10 million to finish it, and without painting, you can't use it. So why will any rational person do that? Complete this house, then start building another one. So this one will be put to use, while another one is under construction. It's basic common sense in management. Don't spend your resources too thinly as to make impact nowhere. You want to do projects everywhere, you end up not doing any project anywhere. It's a simple thing. I don't think it's a problem. But I do recognize that in the Senate, you're talking of Parliament. You have to persuade other senators to buy into your vision. And the fact that we all carry the burden when we are being abused as just a government that a road is bad. Just try to patch through Ekpoma. The other day I was stuck at Lokuja. I saw children who slept on the road. I'm like, how? How? These are avoidable. So I'm not here to blame anybody. I'm just saying that it's not worth my while to go to the Senate and sit down there and be snoring and collect allowance, collect quote constituency project and do whatever. I think at this age, I just need to contribute before God takes us away. That when I'm accounting to God, that God will give me power, I try the best I can to use it to deliver the greatest good to the greatest number of our people. Because the president alone can't do it if you don't have a National Assembly that is ready to cooperate. Just like a governor can't do it if you don't have a state of assembly that is ready to cooperate. But governors are able to get it done easier with state assembly. But at the national level, it doesn't seem that it is that easy. But we need to collaborate. Three arms of government, but it is one government. And Nigerians look up to government. When they say government, it includes executive, legislature, and the judiciary.
Oshiomole, when talking about the 2 APC rally when Shele for Auchi, said one of the reasons why this thing happened, not to lead by example and do door-to-door campaign.
The rally was built to take place at Auchi Polytechnic. We apply to the authorities. We also apply to inform the area commander, and we also inform and apply to the DSS, just to ensure that, everything goes smoothly. Because you may plan with the best of intentions, but always you will find one or two persons who will want to create problems. And I don't want any crisis. I lodge one man, one vote. I believe in, like I say, I'm not a stammerer. I'm capable of making my argument. I don't need a fight. I don't need talking. However, and you saw when I went there, I went straight to the podium to deliver the message. Stop the drumming. I wear my business clothes, functional, deliver the message. So people can go home and say, this is what the senatorial candidate said. This is what the House of Rep candidate said. Not only for myself, this is what the candidate said about our presidential candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is what they said he will do. This is what he said, why, in his opinion, Tinubu is better than Atiku and Obi and others who are also in the race, based on their previous track record. Because they are not strangers to power. How did they use power? At a smaller level, subnational level, to be able to make some assumptions or give benefit of the doubt as to what will they do at the national level, having both run subnational government. I spoke to that. Now, when I finish, we decided to, because what you will observe in rallies is that many people will wear face cap and T-shirt, the PT party logos, etc. But there are a lot of people who are interested in the same message. I don't want to see the candidate. And I decided to get the crowd to follow me, and I told them, let's go around Auchi and Jetu. And along the road, if you were following, you will see people waving. You will see people with little babies wanting me to carry their children. I enjoy that. Because I remember when I was 3 months old, I'm not sure even whether my mother was able to buy a pipe for me or anything. So it reminds me of how we all struggle in our innocence growing up and how our parents look after us. So those people are voters who, because they are working, they can't afford to leave their businesses and go to a rally. But I meet them where they are. That is what you call door to door. And occasionally I stop, I speak, I dance, just to make them feel, relate with them, reconnect with them, have a handshake. They carry the broom. Some women enter their houses, bring out brooms, and they are waving it, which shows they identify with us. And I am also showing them respect by going to their doorstep. That's the door to door. I am leading by example that we have to go door to door. So if the senator can go to door, the House of Rep must be able to go to do door to door, and of course the House of Assembly. If our candidate Tinubu was around, I would have encouraged him, let's visit one or two door to door area. He has the whole country, but we can do at door to door level something that is efficient. Now, in a campaign structure, we actually have a department for door to door campaign. So I led by example yesterday.
Comrade Oshiomole constantly talks say Peter Obi when be the Labour Party presidential candidate go against the peace accord when all presidential candidates sign. Oshiomole talks say get respect for Peter Obi, but the way Peter Obi dey go so, he just defines sympathy for Nigerian people.
In clear breach of the peace accord, which was signed by the presidential candidates on behalf of their parties, in clear breach of the rules that have been handed out by the Nigeria Police Force and the Department of State Security, which says, among other things, that in order to ensure peaceful electioneering, when a party is going to do a campaign in a particular town, another party should not fix its campaign same day. That is why even INEC encourages us to submit in advance our proposed dates for campaign and for rallies. And we submit it to the police, to the SSS, and Obi comes out. And something happens, they will say, Obi is looking for sympathies rather than feed the people with issues. And I have a lot of respect for him, but my respect for him is waning if he's now resorted to tactics that are designed to create violence and bitterness. We don't need any human blood. Jonathan left us with that quotable quote, which you have to credit to him forever, that the election of any Nigerian to any office is not worth the blood of Nigerians. And I thought Obi should even be wiser than that. Now we listen to Soludo's address. Soludo presented his budget, and good enough, he had an interview, and I watched it. I watched it live. And Soludo said, Anambra is more or less the headquarters of gully erosion in Africa, if not in the world. And Peter Obi, my friend, governed Anambra for 8 years, the way I governed Edo for 8 years. And in Auchi, where he landed, was a gully erosion site. I fixed it. Talk to anybody in Auchi. We reclaimed the land on which they now can play football, up to the side of football pit. I didn't cry about Abuja. We used our resources to fix the erosion in Auchi, like we fixed in Quinede in Benin and other part of the state. So if you can't even fix erosion, you are coming here to land where we have fixed an erosion and try to cause trouble.
Comrade Oshiomole can't chook mouth for the talk when people say Obi dey save money as governor of Anambra State. He constantly talk say all the candidates when they contest for presidency, all of them done the part of government. Oshiomole considers some of the achievements of Tinubu for Lagos State.
Tinubu, like they say, is a tree that bears fruit, that tends to attract stones. The one that doesn't bear fruit, people will just look and pass. So no consequence. It has no need to offer. But the one with fruits, everybody wants a piece of the action. So I understand. Part of the things of people have used, quote, seemingly positively in favor of Obi is his claim that he was saving money. And hear what Soludo said about his claim that he saved money for Anambra. And remember why I quoted Soludo is that he's not just a governor. He is an economist, a professor of economics. And he was CBN governor. And during his tenure, the Naira was stable. I mean, that is to his credit. You can't deny him that. He's not in my party, but he accomplished that. He said, common sense. How can you say you are saving in the face of want? You don't have roads. He talked about huge infrastructural deficit in Anambra, in addition to the erosion crisis. So you have this challenge of infrastructure. You didn't address it in 8 years. You have serious challenge of security. You didn't address it in 8 years. Soludo, many years later, is still complaining about how he met a terrible state. If you couldn't manage Anambra, why will you, for God's sake, deceive innocent younger people who, understandably, and I do have sympathy that many young people have no jobs, they've done what they ought to do, going to school, under very difficult conditions with or without ASU strike. They try to graduate. Some of them have fine brains. They are capable of using those brains to add value, not only to enjoy the better quality of life, but also to contribute to the growth and development of Nigeria. And they found themselves unable to find a job. So understandably, they are angry. It justifies anger because government has a duty to create jobs by ensuring that the monetary policies and fiscal policies are designed in a way that will encourage the manufacturing sector and service sectors to create employment. This man was saving money. When Anambra people have no road, no school, and so on, go and check if there is one major school. All he did was to hand over school to missionaries and saddle them with the responsibility of paying them. You also add Soludo, saying he's going to employ 5,000 teachers, not talks, 5,000 teachers. And I say, yeah, that's my man. Employing teachers, because Obi cannot be talking about his belief in skill acquisition with schools without teachers. And if he had those teachers employed, by now Soludo will inherit teachers who at best may require retraining to meet up with changing technology, etc. But he's going to recruit fresh teachers because most of the schools have no teachers. Just like in Edo. Go around, don't take it from me. You have many schools here, 2 teachers only. I'm not saying this village, across Edo State, including Benin, in the 80 local government. So, just to say that, that's Soludo's explanation about a father who claimed to have tons of money that he's saving, even when the wife, the children, the uncles, the aunties are hospitalized, rather than pay their hospital bill or take them to hospital, he says he's saving. Or the children are dying of kwashiorkor, they are malnourished. Rather than feed them, he takes the money and keep. And he said, it makes no sense. Is he building Central Bank Reserve? So just to say that, Nigerians right now, understandably, there is hunger in town, unemployment is high, and so people are looking for solutions, and that is really what this election is about. But they must go for solutions that work. And the way to know who has the capacity is to look at what people have done at subnational level. And for me, it is very interesting that all the candidates, Kwakwaso, Tinubu, Peter Obi, Atiku, they've all been governors. In the case of Atiku, he was vice president. Between him and his boss, then President Olusegun Obasanjo, that they spent 16 billion US dollars. 16 billion US dollars. And he said they paid in full. They paid that money in full to the contractors. And yet power was not delivered. Which means that money was, the contractor were used to siphon that money to private pockets. Is that the man who wants to come and become our president? Precisely because he sold out Nape, not Nape. Yes, even Nape, the way they privatize it, people are still buying transformers. Nape sold it out in a very questionable manner, and today Nape is not there. Is that the guy who wants to come and he said he's going to privatize an NPC, just the way he privatized Nape, and to disappear. And don't be deceived about privatization. The mobile phone we are using is not the result of privatization. It's the result of private enterprise. It's not that it was owned by government and government sold it. So that is why I say we have to speak to now, while Obi couldn't fix erosion in Anambra, how did Tinubu tackle the problem of the Atlantic Ocean threatening to wipe off Victoria Island? Many people were worried that over time, Atlantic Ocean is going to clean off Victoria Island. Every rainy season, you find the Atlantic Ocean crossing the road to those properties that are mostly state government lounges or whatever. But now, they didn't just stop the Eco-Atlantic. They fought back to now have what they now call a Eco-Atlantic, and they now have perhaps one of the most beautiful high-rise buildings in those areas that was once occupied by Mami Water of Atlantic Ocean. So if you can fight back Atlantic Ocean with imaginary leadership, with clear vision and commitment, how is it that you can fix Anambra erosion and you want to come and govern Nigeria? It will just work. Nobody can give what he doesn't have.
Omo Aluke Ajakaye, TMC TV News. Don't forget your PVC your power. Not tell I'm giving any politician an election day.